Have you ever played a game of League of Legends? An amazing game when you just completely dominated every aspect of the game. You hit all the right CS, you hit the right ganks, and you came out feeling like an absolute superstar. Then you'll know exactly what it feels like to not get an S.
Nope.
I'm Arkadian, and in today's video I'm going to share with you 3 important things. Number 1, why you want to get an S. Number 2, how to get an S. And number 3, most importantly, how to abuse the system to get an S in every single game. Now, if you want to skip to a certain part of the video because you're an efficient gamer, then I do have timestamps below, and so click away, but here we go. So, S grades are one of the most elusive aspects of League of Legends, and honestly, that's by design. The reason to want one will be different for everyone. Some people like the fact that it unlocks a spammable taunt. Some people want the free in-game content, and others, like me, just want the ultimate bragging rights over your lobby. So before we start, we need to dive into how exactly grades in League of Legends are calculated. We need to clear the air, because there is a lot of information floating around online about S grades. People talk about needing like 5 million CS, and others talk about needing wards, and then you've got people posting screenshots of them going 5 and 10 on Teemo and getting an S. And so I can understand why it can be so confusing. So let me take this opportunity to set the record straight. Getting an S comes down to 3 core concepts. 1 is vision score. 2 is income over time, and 3 is combat. And how do I know this? Because it's built right into the client. So let's break those down one by one. Vision score. Now this one often gets chalked up to, let's place lots of wards, Hertha. But it's not actually as simple as that. Not all wards are equal. And actually, all vision helps towards this metric. Now, this is kind of a complicated topic, and I'm doing an entire video on that in the future, so if you want to know exactly how this works, just be sure to subscribe, and you'll see the video when it comes out. But for the context of this video, the higher your vision score is, the better, and the more chance you have of getting an S. You can boost your vision score by providing valuable vision or denying vision. And when I say valuable vision, I mean that Riot knows the difference between just spamming wards in base, and it will not help your vision score. And this extends to things like using the scrying orbs to scout wards and champions, or putting wards in high traffic areas. All good things. They can tell the difference. So valuable vision and denying vision are important towards your vision score. Next, we hit income over time. Now, this is the reason that there is a ton of content out there of people claiming that you need like 500 CS to get an S, or you need some crazy 10 CS per minute. And because technically, that's actually true, but also, not really. Think about it. Why would Riot Games spend all of their time tracking all these little lots of specific stats when they can just track one overarching stat instead? It's not about how much CS you can get, it's about how much gold you can get. And CS just happens to help that a lot. Your ability to get as much gold as possible, as fast as possible, directly contributes to your income over time. And that statistic becomes very important when it comes to getting an S, because it's also directly tied into our third but as equally important concept, combat metrics. This is the last concept when it comes to getting an S. It includes your KDA, or kill death assist ratio, how much damage you do to objectives, how much damage you do to champions, and your kill participation. Basically, it just boils down to how much did you help your team with fighting. Because at its core, League of Legends is a MOBA, a multiplayer, online, battle arena. And so if you want to get an S, you're gonna need a battle. But having a high kill participation and high damage to objectives also helps the game determine if you were active around the map and actively helping your team. If you went mid lane, top lane, you were roaming and in those important fights. So you can see how all of these things kind of tie together into, surprise, surprise, being a good League of Legends player, and how they will result in you getting your S. If you are creating and denying vision, if you're consistently creating income for yourself, which in turn gives you an item lead, and then you use those items to do more damage, which then gives you space to roam more, and then in turn you get more objective damage, you just end up being really useful in the game, and that's kind of what an S is all about. You might not win, but you don't need a win to get an S, although it does help. So there it is. That is how you get an S. Vision score, income over time, and battle. It's not complicated. It's actually quite simple. It's just difficult.
Okay, Arkadian, you told me how to get an S, but you didn't tell me how to get an S every single game.
Yes, I know. I did promise you'd be able to use this video to get a sweet S grade every single game. And here comes the meat and the potatoes. Well, here is the secret sauce, my Padawan. And you can tell that we're getting to the juicy part of the video because my informative dialogue has taken a sharp downward turn for the worse. The kicker to this whole S grade business is that the level you need to achieve to get an S, it's not fixed. It is not an overall benchmark of excellence. This is a percentage game. The benchmark for you to get an S is based off the average performance of other players playing your champion in your role. I'll repeat that again for those of you who need me to say it twice, because there are 3 critical pieces of information in that sentence. Average performance of your champion in your role. So if you're playing Yasuo mid, you need to outperform the other 5 million Yasuo mid mains in all of the aspects that we spoke about earlier. They're the ones setting the benchmark for your S. They're the ones you need to compete against when it comes to income over time, and vision score, and combat. So to get an S with Yasuo mid, you need to do an insane amount of damage. You need to have great objective control, and you need to place like 1 or 2 wards. However, this is the secret. If you rewind time and you take that same Yasuo in the exact same game conditions and you take them bot lane, you could perform significantly worse, but you will still get an S because you are competing against other Yasuos who went into the bot lane. This can dramatically lower the benchmark required to help you get an S. What I'm trying to say is that if you play off-meta champions or champions in uncommon roles, you are more likely to get an S. You take Cho'Gath mid lane, you build full AP tank, you chomp objectives and you don't die, you get an S. If you got Leona top lane, you get a metric truck ton worth of CS. You knock down some towers, you group for team fights, boom, free S. So there you go. That is the secret. Average performance of your specific champion in your chosen role. Now, I'm not too sure. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have all the answers. But I'm not too sure if you can abuse this yet by picking random roles in draft with a pre-made and then just going to the intended lanes, like picking Tristana top and then actually going bot. But I know that Riot's game tracking metrics are advanced enough to basically heat map track your position, which is why mobility is an important part of getting an S, and so I don't know exactly if that would work. And I know that there are other things I've theorized about, such as, does it matter based on Q? You know, will Yasuo bot in ranked compete against those who have played Yasuo bot in normals? Because we know ARAM has a completely different S rank system. They don't weight CS as importantly, because it does come down to that income over time. So we do still have some questions. But anyway, there you have it. In essence, how to get an S every game. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please stroke my fragile ego by either leaving a comment below, sharing this video, or at the very least subscribing. I actually put a lot of effort into these videos, although it doesn't look like it. And when they get 100 views, I get big sad. But that is all for this week. Once again, please subscribe, share this video. But until next time, Ark out! If you're part of the Ark Army, then be sure to comment below using the keyword chest. Could be like a magic chest, could be a chest. Who knows?